this wasn't like clean, perfect Iowa basketball. So when you have, no matter who the opponent is on the other side, is that one of those things where like you're happy, like we didn't play our A game and we still won, or is there like some more frustration?
Well, I mean, I try to look at the positive. I didn't really, like the start. We had 10 turnovers. I don't really prefer to enter it right now from the wing. That's the one thing. I want to enter it from the top. And for whatever reason, we continue to try to force the ball in from the wing, and we're just, that isn't a strength of ours yet. So I think that was, right now, without watching the film, that was really a little frustrating because I don't want that look. I like to enter it into the post, but I want it to be cleaner and I want it to be more efficient, and we usually have more success when we go from the top. But overall, I mean, we're in an era of progression. We're growing. We have a lot of new faces. We play a lot of people minutes. Oftentimes, you've asked me a lot of times about freshmen. It's usually Aaliyah. Sometimes it's Strimlow. So I think it would be an error for me to come in and critique any win. I mean, we've been, it's been disappointing, right, when we've lost some of those. But this team has showed up. I've always told them they're closer than they've been farther away. We have been a possession in every one that we've lost. So yeah, do I wish it would look like as beautiful and pretty? Absolutely. But I'm telling you what, we are learning that, maybe the not as pretty wins are certainly better than a pretty loss. So I want to keep getting better. We certainly need to. Obviously, we have a heck of an opponent coming up. But this particular team, we need to definitely improve on the areas we're not great, but we need to celebrate what we do well. And if this team can get a win, I'm on board, and I'm not going to give it style point critique just yet.
Adding on to the earlier question about Aaliyah, you had two athletes come out here and talk to us. Both of them had really good numbers tonight. What have you kind of seen in Aaliyah from this prospect from Illinois who was ranked through injury, comes out, gets her first start against Illinois, and now gets another big game and a win tonight?
I just think, I'm just the fortitude, right? Because sometimes it's easy to forget she just got cleared November 26th. And remember, the last game she probably played in was, in a high school gym with about 50 people, and they were probably winning by 40. And so then all of a sudden now you're in this pressure cooker of which every move that this whole team makes is under fire, right? And that's a whole different feeling when you sign and you're all excited about it until you get here. And then everybody keeps kind of looking at what was, and I'm just keep telling them what's going to be. And I think she really leans into what's going to be. And they're all leaning into what is. And to me, that's what's great about Aaliyah, is she just takes feedback. And I don't think there's too many kids that, right away when they get cleared, I'm asking her to do what she's been doing. And she's ebbed and flowed a little bit, but tonight she was a huge key catalyst as to why we were able to win the game. And it wasn't maybe as always pretty, but it was a win, and it was sure pretty to me.
Excuse me. Sita Folter, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And this is another game in a row where she's had some real good productivity. Do you think she's been a beneficiary of this move back to Hannah Stuelke at the 5 in this whole small ball as much as anything?
Absolutely, because now she's going against fours. So the fours, they're hard to defend them, but she's kind of going against, so the fours are usually a little bit bigger. So that shift isn't just for Hannah and for us to play faster. It allows Sid, I think, sometimes to take a bigger kid off the bounce. It allows her to kind of use her versatility, because if she's playing the 3, sometimes she's matched up with the 2. Sometimes you're getting a different switch that you don't always would prefer. So I do think that could benefit her. I think, Kate Martin, she played the 4 for us. And when Kate Martin kind of shifted to the 4, a lot of good things happened for Kate Martin. So I do think that. I think the matchup defensively, that's going to be a little bit tougher at times, but that's when we'll go back with Hannah and Addie if, gets too big. But I think offensively it's a great, more of a plus for her.
Zach?
Yeah.
Just going back to Aaliyah again, obviously going back to Illinois, she started that game. With when you guys got coming up on the schedule, do you foresee her potentially starting in any of those games?
Yeah, I wouldn't, I'm not gonna show my hand on that, but I like how we're starting the games. I think we've, by virtue of the season, watching practices and trying to find that lineup, I think we got a pretty good one. I think people are kind of settling in and being comfortable when they come off the bench. And I think what I like about Aaliyah, she can come in this role at the 1 or the 2. And so then if I need a little help at the 2, or I want to give Lucy more help at the 1, or if I just simply want to take Lucy off the ball. So I don't envision that. And I think Aaliyah, if she would have to start at the 5 or go in at the 5, she's going to do whatever this team needs to win. So I don't foresee that.
Angie.
So how do you get your young team ready for Sunday and tell them that there's a game?
Yeah. I think that was a little bit sometimes my concern about this, right? Because you just knew a lot of hype was, about, Caitlin's jersey, and obviously USC's coming in, and it's a lot. I mean, it's just storyline after storyline, right? And it's, Caitlin, and then you have arguably, inarguably, the heir apparent of Juju. She's probably going to want to, have a game in front of Caitlin, all the things. But what I've just told them is, what a moment. You get to be in this moment. We get to celebrate one of the greatest Hawks ever. But once the game goes up, right, all the pre-game stories, then it just becomes, us and them. And then after the game, we can take a moment, whatever happens, and really celebrate one of the greatest ever to do it. So I've just really tried to keep them in their lane. And I think they understand that. They know the task is tall on Sunday, but it's also a really fun opportunity. And I like what I've seen so far. But, it's been a lot of different things coming at them with just all the hype, because so many people are excited about Caitlin.
John.
How did Hannah go from missing 2 games of concussion to her, by far, her best scoring output in the season, 26 points, most since UConn last year?
Well, I feel like, honestly, I really felt like we were coming. I saw the lineup a lot. I liked it before we started the Nebraska game. And it's unfortunate she got the concussion, because I just don't know what would have happened at the end of that game. But I liked how we were flowing. I thought our offense was a little bit better. I thought she was coming. And then we had to take the skids a little bit because she was, couldn't play. I just think that, she just had time to really adjust to, even though we didn't play her, she was, back here. I don't think I've seen her as excited as when she got cleared. In really a long time. We came back, and it was, we were watching film in practice, and she really didn't have any contact in practice for the first two practices. It was yesterday, I think, was first full go. But there was just a new sense of appreciation, and that was awful. I don't want to sit out, all the things. So I was just really happy. But I think the kid should have had 30. I think she missed a couple of layups, and I was like, oh, no, I do not envision her missing coming forward. But I just think, all of it, I think all of the frustration of those games and, that happened earlier, I think we're just really focused on, we're closer than we're farther, and I think she's really, really feeling that.
Chris and then Kyle.
Jan.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So Hannah had 18 in the first half, and then they kind of held her away from the basket in the second half, but then everyone else got rolling. When Hannah's having a good game like that, she's in a good groove, how might that open up opportunities for everyone else as the game goes on?
Yeah, I think there's just a fine line. You can go back to it, and, armchair quarterbacks, throw everything to her, but she gets a little tired, and, we had some other actions going on. But yeah, I think when you have to pay attention as much to Hannah, they're trying to, kind of, if she's driving, they're trying to stop her because she's pretty powerful. That's why I like the top and in. It's a little tougher to kind of do any double shenanigans on the top and in. But yeah, I have to watch it, exactly. But I think, when a kid has 18 and a half, you're going to get a little different scheme, or at least you should. And I think they were throwing different bodies at her at different times. But I'd have to really watch the film to see if there was anything they did, incredibly, or we were just trying to get some other people involved.
Ava Hayden didn't get to play tonight. Was that a game plan thing? And then when you talk about Addie and Ava, it's the backup. How close is that battle right now?
Yeah, it is close. I mean, that's the hard thing. I mean, if you're gonna do it at the 4, then Tegan Mulaney doesn't get the minutes. If you're going to the 5, then you're gonna lose one of those in the rotation. She just has to stay ready. Tonight, Addie was holding her own, and she was giving a little different look with the physicality in there, and just didn't have enough minutes to stretch it, to get her some. I really wanted to give her some in that second half, and I was talking to Randy, the post coach, and she was kind of feeling that she, kind of a joint decision going with Addie with that experience, because we never really got a lot of separation, but that's the thing. Our young kids, they just got to stay ready, because she could have a big role to play against a pretty, bouncy and, athletic and very good team against USC. So that's the hard part when you got a deeper team, is sometimes you aren't able to give them the minutes. But this team's been really, really good at understanding, for the good of the group that particular night. So I'm hopeful. I'm pretty confident that Ava will. I'm sure she's disappointed that she didn't play, but that's what you want her to be. And I think she'll be ready when we need her, though.